Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण dear devotees. So today is Ravana Masa, Shridhara Masa, Shukla Paksham, and the Dasmi Tithi and Ekadasi Tithi. Both Tithis are falling on the same day. So because of that, we are fasting on Dwadasi day, that is tomorrow. So for today, there are no Vaishnava events. So we shall quickly move into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Lord Brahma speaking to Narada Muni about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So after explaining about the Karanaga Sai Vishnu and all his expansions and all his glories are immeasurable and no one can understand. And here inclusive of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara and all other demigods are by the name of all the living entities. So everyone are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. None of them are actual Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are part and parcel only. So aham bhavo yajna ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavad adayasya swadlokapalaha kagalokapalaha dulokapalaha taralokapalaha gandharva vidyadhara charaneshaha ye yaksha raksho uraga naga nadaha येवा ऋषीणां ऋषभाः पितॄणां दैत्रेन्द्र सिद्धेश्वर दानवेन्द्राः अन्ये च ये प्रेत पिशाच भूत कूष्माण्डा यादो मृगपक्षदीशाः यत्किञ्च लोके भगवन्महस्व वोचः सस्वद् बलवत् क्षमावत् श्री श्री विभूति आत्मवद् अद्भुतार्णं तत्त्वं परं रूपवद् अश्वरूपम्. All of these are not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are Ashwarupam. So after saying that, now Brahma, he is concluding those glories, and now he is going to explain to Narada Muni those pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is saying that, O Narada Muni, to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so auspicious, it will remove all inauspicious things from the heart and the ears. So I will explain one after another. So all the Leela avatars of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the very important and prominent ones. So likewise, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni. And this is the last verse of this chapter. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 6 and verse number 46. Pradhanyato yan vrusha amananti लीलावतारन् पुरुषस्य भूम्नः पापीयतं कर्णकषायशोषान् अनुक्रमिष्येत इमान् सुपेशान् प्राधान्यतो यान् वृषा आमनन्ति प्राधान्यतो. So the very chiefly or the important yan means the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the Leela Avataras. So here Pradhanyato yan Rishe Amananti. O Rishi, O Narada Muni, Amananti Amananti is the worshipping of these incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All pastimes are they're transcendental. They are divine. Pradhanyato yan dosha amananti leelavataran purushasya bhumnaham. So they are leelavataras. Leelavataran purushasya bhumnaha. Purushasya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is opulent with all the six opulences in full. Bhumnaha, the Supreme, and all his pastimes are worshipable. And Brahma is explaining one after another. Pradhanyatu yandrusha amananti leelavataran purushasya bhumnaham apiyatam karna kashaya shoshan. And once we hear apiyatam karna kashaya shoshan, and if there are any impurities in the karna kashaya, so foul matters, if we have heard all the materialistic activities, as soon as we hear the Krishna Katha, they will be completely removed. Shoshan, that which evaporates. That is the attraction towards the Supreme Personality of God and his pastime. Apiyatam karna kashaya shoshan. Anukramishyeta iman supeshan. Anukramishyeta. I am going to explain one after another. All they are emancipation, they are in my heart. They are pleasing to hear. Oh, Narakamuni. So I'm going to explain all the Leela Avataras one after another. Likewise, Brahma is saying here. So with this one, so Brahma, in this chapter, Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th chapter is finished, and then the next chapter he is going to explain all the Leela Avataras. So Pradhanyato yandrusha amananti leelavataran purushasya bhumnaha apiyatam karna kashaya shoshan anupramisheta emancipation. Translation for this verse. O Narada, now I shall state one after another the transcendental incarnations of the Lord, known as Leela. Hearing of their activities counteracts all foul matters accumulated in the ear. These pastimes are pleasing to hear and are to be relished. Therefore, they are in my heart. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request my unallocated devotees to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. May I read, Prabhu?
Sure, Mother.
As it was said in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam 158, one cannot be fully satisfied by hearing unless and until one is given a chance to hear of the transcendental activities of the Lord. So Brahmaji is also trying in this verse to stress the importance of narrating the transcendental pastime of the Lord as he comes and manifests himself here on the surface of the material planets. Every living entity has a tendency to hear pleasing messages, and as such, almost every one of us is inclined to hear news and talks broadcast by the radio stations. But the difficulty is that no one is satisfied at heart by hearing all those messages. The cause of such a dissatisfaction is the incompletability innermost stratum of the living soul. This transcendental literature is especially prepared by Srila Vyasadeva to give the utmost satisfaction to the people in general by narration of the activities of the Lord, as instructed by Sri Narad Muni to Srila Vyasadeva. Such principally of mundane manifestation of the material creative force, and the other deals with his pastime in the form of different incarnation in terms of the time and place. There are innumerable incarnations of the Lord, like the waves of the river flowing constantly in and out. Intelligent person take more interest in the creative forces of the Lord in the material.
Hare Krishna, Mataji,
The relationship.
your voice is cutting, Mataji. It seems.
Oh, sorry, Prabhu. It's coming now.
We are hearing occasional
Oh,
on and off like that.
okay. Force of the Lord. Now, can you hear, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
A force of the Lord in the material world and being disconnected from the relationship with the Lord. They put forward many theories of this creation in the name of scientific research. The devotees of the Lord, however, know well how the creative forces work concurrently by the action and reaction of the material energy of the Lord. Therefore, they take a more interest in the transcendental activities of the Lord as He incarnates Himself on the surface of the material world. Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of such activities of the Lord, and people who take interest in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam clear their hearts of accumulated mundane filth. There are 1,001 praise literature on the market, but one who has taken interest in the Srimad Bhagavatam loses his all interest in such filthy literatures. Sri Brahmaji is thus attempting to narrate the principal incarnation of the Lord so that they may be drunk by Narada as transcendental nectar. Thus ended the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Purusha Sukta Confirmed. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. So here, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni, so one has to hear all this, the pleasing pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is Narada Muni says this one too. So Brahma says to Narada Muni says to Vyasadeva. So Bhavata Anudita Prayam Bhagavato Yasho Bhagavato Amalam. They are very pure to hear. So that one he mentions that. Otherwise, if it is not explained clearly, yenaiva na tushyeta manyeta darshanam kilam. And if the Lord is not satisfied, if we do not satisfy the senses of the Lord, and they are not considered they are not considered worthful. So that philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. So this is Narada Muni statement to Vyasadeva, because Brahma experienced and explained to Narada Muni. Narada, after taking the instructions from Brahma, he experienced it and then explaining to Vyasadeva. And then Vyasadeva has given Srimad Bhagavatam to us after he relished it, and he has given to his son Sukadeva Goswami, and Sukadeva Goswami narrated, and finally we got this one in the literature form. All the transcendental activities of the Lord. So until one hears these pastimes of the Lord, one cannot be satisfied. So Brahmaji is also saying in this verse to stress the importance of narrating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord as he comes and manifests himself here on the surface of the material planets. This is Janma Karma Chime Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatpataha Chakpa Deham Punajjanma Naiti Mam Yeti Sodhuna. So Krishna says to Arjuna, so my activities are divine. So every living entity has a tendency to hear pleasing messages, and as such, almost every one of us is inclined to hear the news and talks. This is Srotavyadini Rajendra Nunam Santi Sahasrashah. So Sukadeva Goswami says, so many topics are there in this world to hear. Srotavyadini Rajendra Nunam Santi Sahasrashah. So this is the statement. But the Gruhamedis, they do not take to the Atma Tattva. This is Apasyatam Atma Tattvam Gruheshu Gruhamedinam. Apasyatam Atma Tattvam Gruheshu Gruhamedinam. They do not take to the transcendental pastimes. They take the only so many other topics, which are like kind of the news and the talks broadcast by radio stations. Gruheshu Gruhamedinam. They are called Gruhamedis. The cause of the dissatisfaction, incompatibility of the message with the innermost stratum of the living soul. What is the innermost stratum of the living soul? So it understands the transcendental pastimes. It is always Ananda. And whenever we hear the pastimes of the Lord, then only the soul is nourished. We are relished. That we can experience it. That happens in the heart, not through the senses. So this transcendental literature is especially prepared by Srila Vyasadeva to give utmost satisfaction to the people in general by narration of the activities of the Lord, as instructed by Sri Narada Muni to Srila Vyasadeva. So as soon as Yasyam Vaishriyamayanam Krishne Parama Purushe Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsaha Shoka Moha Bhayapaha Anaddopasimam Sakshat Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaje Lokasya Ajanato Vidvan Chakre Satpata Samhitam. So he has given for the people of this material world because Anaddopasimam Sakshat to relieve them from the Anaddas. Sakshat Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaje. That is the devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And once we hear Shoka, Moha, Bhayapaha, there all be eradicated. Lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness, there will be eradicated. And Bhaktirutpadyate Pumsaha, Bhaktihi Utpatti, it will, devotion to Krishna, it will sprout from the heart by hearing the Krishna Katha. And such activities of the Lord are principally of two varieties. One concerns the mundane manifestation of the material activities force, and the other is the deals with the pastimes in the form of different incarnations. One is the external energy of the Lord, and that is Mayadhyakshena Prakritihi Suite Sacharacharam. Whatever we see, everything, people are working here and there, and many other things are going on. Interactions between um, the earth, water, fire, and all those between those things, savikaram. But the Krishna's pastimes, they are transcendental within his internal potency. Like the waves, yada vida sinha kulyaha sarasaha syuhu sahsrashaha. So many incarnations of the Lord, they appear, and it is only for the people to take pleasure by hearing his pastimes. And less intelligent persons take more interest in the creative forces of the Lord in the material world. And being disconnected from the relationship with the Lord, they put forward many theories of the creation in the name of scientific research. This is Asatyam Apritishtam Te Jagadahuranishwaram Aparaspara Sambhotam Kimanyat Kamahetukam. The many people, they think that there is no one behind this universe. Asatyam, Apratishtam. Likewise, they take into those kind of statements, and then so accept the attraction between male and female, and then apart from that, there is no other reason behind this universal creation. Likewise, they will think that Asatyam, Apratishtam, Te Jagadahuranishwaram. So Anishwaram. So they do not believe into the God, that there is one person who is controlling the seasons, the time, days, months, and then the day and night, the sunrise, sunset, moonrise and moonsets, so all these things, they do not believe how these are, but they believe in the factories. If you do this one, if you learn these things, and you will get money. If you do this one, you will get money. Likewise, they will put into the external energy. external activities which are not even connecting to the supreme absolute truth. That's why they lose their connection to the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the scientific research, material one. The devotees of the Lord, however, know well how the creative forces work concurrently by the action and reaction of the material energy of the Lord. Therefore, they take more interest in the transcendental activities of the Lord as He incarnates Himself on the surface of the material world. So the devotees, they see in very big picture, not that one has to learn some kind of thing for only 20 years of survival, learn this thing and get the job, and then that's it. After that, you will become useless. That is not the devotees. They see very big picture. So the time is eternal. What happens before they come into existence into the human body, and what happens after that, in between, what they need to do, and how this supreme absolute truth as a Bhagavan, and he appears in this material world and perform his pastimes, and one also can reflect and reconcile all his pastimes in his later ages. But only devotee can do that, but not the other people. They have got very smaller vision. The devotee has got a broader vision. Why? In the childhood we have got something, and so many people come in contact and they left, and then in the during that Grihastha period, some people come and they left, and later on Vanaprastha period, some people come, and what is remaining with them? They reconcile everything, they dovetail everything with the absolute um, truth, with the supreme personality of Godhead. So one has to patiently wait and see it, but not immediately take the actions to counteract the materialistic activities. So here, and Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of such activities. So here, why we do not counteract the materialistic things means Prabhupada and in the scriptures say that if you try to counteract the materialistic activities, if one problem, immediately there will be great distress after that if we try to do by ourselves. That's why one has to pass through that pastime. Otherwise, it will be more painful situation again. That those things are also given by our acharyas. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the history of such activities of the Lord, and people who take interest in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam clear their hearts of accumulated mundane filth. So there are 1,001 rash literatures. Sahasrani, Santi, Srotavyadani Rajendra, Nunam Santi, Sahasrashaha. This is the mundane literatures, rash literatures on the market. But one who has taken interest in the Srimad Bhagavatam loses all interest in such filthy literatures. पिबन्ति भगवत आत्मनः सतां कथामृतं श्रवणपुटेषु सम्भृतं पुनन्ति ते विषयविदूषिताशयं व्रजन्ति तच्चरणसरोरुहान्तिकम्. So once we drink pibanti bhagavata atmanah satam katamrutam sravanaputeshu samrutam, once we pour the nectar of Krishna Katha into our ears, sravanaputeshu sambrutam, then purantite vishya vidushitasayam Vrajanti Tacharna Sarorohantikam. So he will be Punantite, free from Vishya Vidushitasayam, free from all the mundane things and filthy literatures. He will lose the interest towards the filthy literatures. Then Vrajanti Tacharna Sarorohantikam. He comes to the lotus feet of the Lord. So that is the scriptures. So Sukadeva Goswami says. So here Brahmaji is thus attempting to narrate the principal incarnations of the Lord so that they may be drunk by Narada as transcendental nectar. This is Nigamakalpa Tarurghalitam Palam Sukumukadam Bratadrava Samgitam Pevata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhui Bhavukaha. So pleasing this Srimad Bhagavatam. So one has to always Tasma Sarvatmana Rajan Harihi Sarvatra Sarvada Shrotavyaha Kirtavyasha Smattavyo Bhagavan Runam. All the time hear and glorify and remember him all the time, Sarvatra Sarvada, in all times and circumstances. That supreme personality of Godhead. Likewise, Brahma is saying to Narada Muni, and with that one, Prabhupada completed this purport, and that's in the Bhaktivedanta purports of the second canto, 6th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, from Srimad Bhagavatam. Pradharnyato yandosha amananti leelavatarana purushasya bhomnaha apiyatam karna kashaya shoshan anukramisheta iman supeshan. So Brahma is saying like that too. Nartamani, we shall quickly move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is a letter to Hit Saranji, March 26, 1970, Los Angeles. Can I request other devotee to read this Prabhupada's letter? Any unallocated devotees to read this letter?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
My dear Hicharanji, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated, receipt of your copy of the letter to Sri Trivedi dated 9th March 1970. In the meantime, I have received a letter from Sri Tridevi that he has arranged to dispatch the 3 pair of murtis to different places, but I do not know if Sri M.L. Chad of Dalmia Cement Limited has already handed over the murtis to the care of Sri N.M. Tridevi. Then, what about the other 2 pairs of murtis? Are they already delivered to you? If so, you can dispatch them similarly for Los Angeles. Besides that, Srimati Sumati Muraji of Bombay has agreed to donate some murtis herself, as well as through some friends. She wants to know the price of the murtis and the place from where they can be had. It is understood that you have already written to Jaipur about the cost of marble murtis. I hope by this time you have received the cost. If so, kindly inform me as well as Srimati Sumati Muraji about, because we require immediately at least 1 dozen murtis for different places. We require at least 1 pair of murtis exactly like that of London, for which you have got the picture for our Paris center. Kindly therefore enlighten me on the above subject by return post and blind. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Yes, I have received one letter from Sethji acknowledging my book Sri Ishobhanishad. Please convey my regards for him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai, thank you, Mataji. Any take points, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. In this letter, Prabhupada was inquiring about the DT transportation. Like Prabhupada, they were sending 3 DTs and 2 they have received. So um, then one like 2. What about the status of the DTs? Like Prabhupada needed that time at least 1 dozen of DTs. So because for different centers, so Prabhupada was requesting devotees from India to donate some DTs because it is difficult for them to pay for everything. So Prabhupada was trying to, if they can arrange it by donation from India. So Sumati Moraji, we know how she helped Prabhupada. And so here Prabhupada was saying she agreed that she will donate some DTs as well as she will ask her friends to do so. So for that, the quotation like how much the DTs will cost, so that should be informed her. So for that, Prabhupada is requesting. So it's like a coordination kind of thing. Prabhuji, like Prabhupada wanted to coordinate and make things done, because we need the
Thank you so much, Mataji. So here, Prabhupada is mentioning about the murtis. Deities means deities after the installation of Prana Pratishtha, then they are called deities. Before that, they
yes,
are murtis.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yes, sorry, Prabhu. It's
No, Mataji. So this is a very beautiful thing Prabhupada is explaining to us. So this is contributing towards the murtis. So to carve the murtis, the form of the Lord through the stone. There are different materials are given. So stone is widely used. stone and metal. Okay, so this is again encouraging the devotees to contribute towards the like Sumati Maharaj, Mataji, and other devotees as well, and encourage and spread this word. Okay, everyone will come forward if it is the motives, and if we see so many temples are established, and everyone try to contribute towards the motives. Okay, this is the takeaway from this letter, and from the announcements point of view. So today evening we have about Krishna Katha at 8 p.m. with Shamgurivada Prabhuji. Okay, that's all the announcement side from me. And the coming Saturday we are continuing with the Bhagavad Gita session. We haven't got a speaker yet for this Saturday. I request Devashish Prabhuji to, if Prabhuji has said time, to request any devotees from the temple speakers. That would be great.
I'll try, Prabhu. I'll let you know. Very good.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so that is from the announcement side. And dear devotees, if you have got any other updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. If there are no updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa. Panchakalpatarubhyasya कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण कॉन्शियस डे एवरीवन। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद।